this video, I'm going to install Linux Mint Debian Edition 2, codenamed Betsy, on an external drive using actual hardware. I'm using a USB flash drive as the installation medium, and it worked well. The Debian Edition defaults to the live session, and the only reference you can see to Debian here is the little spiral symbol after the word Linux Mint. First, I'm going to connect to my wireless network. Point to my network and enter the encryption key. Now I'm connected. I'm going to click on the Install Linux Mint icon. The language will be English, US, forward. Since I'm connected to the internet, it guessed my time zone correctly, forward. The keyboard is also English, US, forward. Now I'm going to enter a name. In this case, it's a fictitious name. And the system generates a username in lowercase letters. You can change it, but it must always be lowercase. I'm going to enter a password and then confirm it. I'm going to leave login automatically unchecked. The host name is not really important unless you're connected to a network with other computers. You could enter anything here. Here you see the partitioning for my internal drive, and you see my external drive listed. You don't see anything about the installation drive in this setup. On the internal drive, I have two Windows partitions, a Linux swap partition, and Ubuntu 15.10 Mate installed. The partition at device SDA6 is a spurious partition. I'm going to click on the external drive and then point to the free space, and then click on Edit Partitions. This gives me a copy of gparted, the Linux partition editor, and I see all unallocated space on this drive. I'm going to click on Partition and then New. It opens up with the entire space available and it defaults to a ext4 partition, but that's not what I want right now. I'm going to make it Linux swap, and I'm going to make it 6,000 megabytes in size, and then click on Add. Now that partition has been added to the pending operations. I'm going to click on Partition New again. This time I'm going to leave it an ext4 partition, and I'm going to use the rest of the space available on the drive, and then click on Add. And that has now been added to the pending operations. Now I'm going to click on the symbol for applying those operations. And it asks me whether I'm sure, and I am, so I click on Apply. And it writes those partitions to my external disk. Then I click on Close. Now I'm going to go up to the list of devices in the upper right-hand corner and select my internal disk, and I'm going to point to my Linux swap partition. I don't want the system to use that. However, when I click on partition, there's no real option for unmounting it. The word swap on implies that currently the swap partition is off. So I'm going to see what happens. Close gparted. I'm going to click on refresh, and it will display the partitions I've just added. It took me quite a while to figure out how to designate device SDC2 as the root partition. There were no instructions, there was no guidance. I fiddled around with it, and I finally found that by right-clicking I was able to find the choice to assign it to /, which is the root directory, the entry point for the system. So I clicked on that, and as you can see, that / appeared under mount point. Now I'm pointing to my internal swap partition because I don't want to mount that. When I right-clicked there, nothing happened. But since swap is off, I thought I'd go forward and see what the result was. Now I find that they've already selected my external drive as the location of the bootloader, so I don't have to do anything here. I'm just going to leave it and click on forward. Under this summary, if you notice, they still show mounting device SDA3 as swap. That's on my internal drive. I don't want that. So I'm going to click on back and back. And I fiddled around with device SDA3 several minutes until I found that by double-clicking on it, I was able to get this. It defaults to mounting it as swap, and I'm going to check the blank entry here. There's nothing that says do not mount this partition, but I'm guessing that the blank will work. So I click on OK, and then I go forward again to my summary, and yes, it has taken device SDA3 off the list. So now it's only going to install partitions on my external drive. So I'm going to click on Apply. The system is now installing. It takes a while, so I'm going to interrupt the video. When the installation is finished, you're asked whether you want to restart your computer. You could click on yes at this point and restart it, but I'm going to click on no because I have to upload my screenshots. If you do want to continue to use the system, you can do this also, and when you're ready to shut it down, click on the menu at the lower left and the power off symbol. After the system is shut down, but before I restart, I'm going to remove the installation medium. Watch my general video on this subject for more information. This is XRAM Tech. Thanks for watching.